Hello everyone, it's Neish with Scattermine, and I'm doing another entry into the Chronicles of a Peculiar Mom. This episode is going to be more about getting older and realizing that you're past a certain point to do certain things, and that's okay. And coming to terms with that and being okay with being an old person, except not an old person, but older, getting older. It's not fun, but it is at the same time. I have to drive through downtown a lot now for my new job. And I drive through Deep Ellum a lot. And it's completely different now. It is not the Deep Ellum that we grew up with. Yeah, and I say we, the people of my age, around my age, our generation. You know what I mean. And where clubs used to be, there are now coffee shops or hipster restaurants or something like that. And I realized we all used to be douchey assholes at some point. And now we're just grumpy old people. I had a loft, not in downtown, right outside downtown. And I loved that loft. And, I drive by all the new lofts downtown and stuff like that. And you realize, wait, I can't do that anymore. I have a family. Not saying that people who live in city settings can't have a family or anything like that, but having a loft apartment in downtown Dallas isn't practical. And that's what growing up is. It's becoming more practical. Because, yeah, you can have an expensive place downtown, but having an expensive place downtown with a husband and 4 kids, not the smartest move. You need the suburbs with the house and the yards, and it's time for some other douchey 20-something to have that loft. And eventually they'll pass the torch on to the next generation of douchebags, like we once were. And that's fine. Getting old, and I'm not saying I'm like super old, because I'm not. I'm the youngest of our group. I'll be 34 soon. I'm not on my last leg. Feels like it some days. And that back pain really gets you. You're like, man, this is it. This is how I go. I was a legend. And now I'm taken out by back pain. Son of a bitch. But just getting older in general is very weird. You have this baseline of personality that you have, and for the most part, most of those traits stay in place. Your sense of humor, your laugh, how you laugh, moral compass-ish kind of things, certain values, you maintain your whole life. Not saying that viewpoints can't change, if you're closed-minded, they won't, but, as long as you're a human that's trying to do it right and grow and evolve, But for the most part, you have your personality. But getting older is just like those ideas that you had when you were younger, you have to come to terms with not being able to accomplish everything that you had set out. No matter how small it is. But it also makes you realize that you, instead of those small goals or whatever ideas you had, while you might not be able to accomplish those, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The things that you set in place that you didn't accomplish, it makes way for new goals and new ideas and new ways of thinking and a new life or different ways to live your life. You know, after my first marriage ended, I didn't think I wanted kids anymore. You know, I obviously married into 3 kids and then had one. And now I don't see myself at all ever without kids. Like, I don't know what I would do with my bunch. I really don't. And I don't want to know or think about how my life would have been without them. Like, I don't want to think of, okay, well, if I hadn't gotten with Robert, how would my life have been different? I don't want to think about that because I don't think it would have been as gratifying. Like, my life wouldn't have, not saying I wouldn't have had a good life or anything like that, or that I would have made, you know, I would have been like a junkie, living out of a cardboard box or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think I would have been as happy. Because I love being a wife and I love being a mom. Sometimes I want to pull my hair out, but that's part of it. That's part of it. But now, you know, I don't get to live in my downtown loft apartment anymore, but I get my house, which is full of love. And I don't get to go to bars every night, but I do get TV time with my children and my husband. I get family time when we watch movies together or wrestling. It's, I may not get to have the dogs I want yet. And I say yet because I will have dogs. Because we have kids. But I have my children and I have my husband. And we have such a tight unit that I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't want it any other way. Okay, I would change one thing. I would make my older children not have such an attitude problem. But they're almost 16 and 14, so I guess I should kind of know that it's bound to happen. And then we have a set of 2 more of attitude problems to deal with. That'll be fun. But coming to terms with being older, and like I said, I'm the youngest of our group. So everyone's all, oh, well, you're still not as old as us. Oh, well, I still feel it. So, fuck it. But getting older is, like I said, it's just weird. And outside of not being able to do things like you could when you were younger, I realized that, like, we went to McDonald's earlier for lunch. And it was just Logan and I. And he wasn't talking because I was ordering his food, and he knows that if I don't order, he doesn't get his Happy Meal. So he was quiet and being good. And instead of the person in the speaker saying, "Hey, how are you doing today? Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you?" We pull up. I roll down the window. And this rude teenager just says, "What can I get? Or what can I get you?" And I threw the dirtiest look at a speaker I've ever thrown to pretty much anybody in my whole life. Okay, not the dirtiest look, but it was up there. And as she was taking my order, it was just like rude. And then that's when I felt like an old person, because it's like, these damn kids and their attitudes and their disrespect. And unfortunately, the younger generation, customer service isn't up on their, high on their priority list. And I just wanted to look at her and be like, "You rude son of a bitch. Be polite. Use your manners. Like, sound like you have a shitty job. I understand that. But act like you like it while you're here. And if you don't, find another one." I mean, I worked fast food in high school. I know it sucks. But guess what? Have manners. Like, be polite. I guess I could just go for everyone nowadays. Just be polite. Use your manners. Use your fucking blinker. Just be decent. But that really pissed me off, because then I get to the window and she's just like, she did nothing wrong. You're working in the service industry and you're just a rude asshole. And that's when I really feel like an old person, or crotchety old person. You have to step back and realize, you're never going to be the same young person. But you get to grow into the middle-aged person you're going to be, and then the old person you're going to be. And I think instead of looking at it as, man, we're not young anymore. Ugh, we're getting so old. I think it should be more like, fucking, yay, we're not young anymore. We don't have to live off of a, supply of ramen and cheap wine from the grocery store. Or wine that was given as a gift that sat in your fridge for like 4 or 5 months. And then in a bout of depression, you drank a bottle of red wine that you didn't like. Not that I know from experience or anything. That's not a personal story. Nope. But it's like, we don't have to go through, especially for anyone who went through like rough shit growing up. We don't have to deal with that anymore. We don't have to be there anymore. We get to grow up. We get to be new people. And I don't mean like completely new people, but it's more of we get to shape who we want to be. So not being able to do everything you used to be able to or wanted to do when you were younger is a bad thing. As long as you're, healthy and happy in the moment. If you're growing up and you still need help getting to that place, then obviously get the help you need. But if you're like me, I went through a bunch of bullshit. A lot of dark times, and then you kind of come out of it and you realize how different you are. And honestly, you couldn't pay me enough money to be like, well, I'm 33, so you can pay me to be 10 years younger. No fucking way. There's no way I would be 23 again. People are like, oh, I wish I could be 21 again. Well, why? Why would you want to be 21? Working shit jobs, fucking trying to figure out where you are in this world. Fuck that. No fucking way. Like I said, you could not pay me enough. I would not. No. Fuck you. And you know, sometimes I do struggle with that because it's like, man, I'm not ready to be old. But at the same time, it's like, bitch, I've been a mom for a long time now. I haven't been young in a long time. I mean, the way I grew up, you know, I kind of had to grow up a lot faster than a lot of people do, which is cool. Whatever. But I think that might be why. And I don't struggle with it a lot. Because I would much rather just be home. But there's sometimes where it's like, man, I wish we could just go out and do something without planning it out 5 weeks ahead of time. Because, you know, that's what you have to do as an adult. You have to plan things out, which I love to do. But there is a fondness of a little spontaneity, which kind of gets lost when you are older, but not necessarily just older, just a parent in general. Because now, like, I have a planner, and I have everything mapped out, you know, because Kaylee has rehearsals, so I have all rehearsal times planned out. I have anything that Chris might be doing mapped out. I have stuff that Noe is doing mapped out. I've had Kaylee's rehearsal schedule mapped out since the end of last year. You know, it's very regimented. So, you know, there's some days where it's just like, man, I wish we could just do whatever we wanted. But then at the same time, it's like, no. If we got to do whatever we wanted, then these kids would be fucking heathens. And they're not, which I am extremely grateful for. They're amazing. And Robert and I get to, you know, have fun with each other. You know, we get to go to movies together, or like out to dinner or something like that. So it's not completely, the spontaneity is not like gone. We just have to carefully plan our spontaneity, which is fine. It's cool because then we know, because neither one of us like last minute plans, especially when it comes to, you know, because we do have 4 kids. We can't do anything last minute. But then we also always know what our schedule is, so it's not bad. That was another thing that made me feel like an accomplished adult. I had the great idea of Robert and I syncing our calendars together. So we could put stuff in our calendar on our phone, which we always have with us. You know, if something comes up, we immediately put it on the calendar on our phones, and boom, both of us have access to it. I can set notifications. And that's another thing that makes me realize I am no longer a young person. I felt like that was an adulting gold medal move. Like, that was fucking amazing. And I'm pretty sure other people do it. I cannot. Okay, I'm not saying I'm an idiot, and I'm not saying I'm Einstein, but I'm not a box of rocks. Like, I'm a pretty intelligent person, but I know that there are people way more intelligent than me that have probably already been doing this and in their own personal lives, and I'm just now getting around to it. But I felt like that I deserved like a gold medal and a cookie, because who doesn't love cookies? But yeah, I was really proud of that one. And speaking of cookies, you know, it's another thing, getting older, it's very, your metabolism is bullshit now. Like, a lot of bullshit. Like, I look at cookies the wrong way and I gain like 2 pounds. I don't even have to eat anything and gain weight. It is bullshit. But again, that makes you have to step back and reevaluate your decisions and be an adult and not be a child or a giant, quote unquote, adult child. I'm in this middle stage, I think, where I'm not necessarily middle-aged. I'm at the beginning part of being middle-aged. Like, I'm getting to the point of being middle-aged, which is weird. Because I'm not a child and I'm not in my 40s. I'm not middle-aged. I'm just in this weird 30s area where I'm, close to being mid-30s. And it's a weird transitional period where you are finding out that, no, I don't want to go to a club and then go to another club after that and buy expensive drinks or do all the other, I don't even know what young people do nowadays. I don't even want to know. I don't. I'm not there anymore. I don't want to know what you do. You do you. I'll do me. But it's a weird transition period of young adult to adult. There's no, you don't get to put the young adult anymore. You're out of your 20s, you're in, oh, well, I need to stretch before bed or else my back is going to kill me. Or you have to take that acid reducer now before eating anything, because if you don't, you'll be up in the middle of the night not having a fun time. You're in that point where you have to make dentist appointments and doctor's appointments. Well, I have to do it not only for me, but, the kids. Like, I'm the one who has to do that now. Like, I can't call my mom and be like, oh, I have to go to the doctor. Which I didn't do that after I moved out anyway. But, when you live at home, it's like someone else does that shit for you. You don't have to do that. But now I'm the one who has to do that shit for other people. It's just it's a weird thing. The changing of roles into being a child, being independent, young adult, living on your own. And then out of fucking nowhere, you're like, oh, wait, I'm about to be 34. And my body is falling apart like a game of Jenga. And it's not fun. Just the body falling apart. getting older is scary, but it's not at the same time. Because like I said before, it was, you have these moments where your life takes unexpected turns, and for the past few years, it's like, okay, you got to learn how to roll with the punches. And Robert always tells me, we just got to go with it. We've always just gone with it, and everything will be fine. Everything will be good. And that's how you just gotta go with aging. You're just like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll make it eventually. It's just weird. But you get that room to make new decisions and learn from old mistakes, and get new adventures as you get older. And you just kind of you get to make, it's like everybody talks about getting a fresh start, and you get that. I think a good every 5 years you could be like, oh, that's who I was 5 years ago. Well, no, because even like a year, you're like, oh, that was a totally different person last year. So you get those new chances to build life differently as you get older. I think that's the coolest thing about getting older. Because especially for like Robert and I, because I don't want to speak for anyone else, because everybody has their own opinion. That Robert and I have already been through so much shit, where it's just like, oh, we get to grow and do things differently. Because it's very rare that we're like, oh man, I wish it could be the way it used to be. I don't think that sentence has been uttered in this house for, I think, ever. Maybe once, but it was just like, oh, I wish that music could be a certain way, or that my body could feel a certain way. Be like, I wish I was as fat as I thought I was then, as opposed to now. No, and like, stuff like that. And saying that out loud now is like, it makes you realize I don't ever want for things to be the way they used to be. Because if things stayed the same, then nothing would change. And while change is uncomfortable, it is necessary. And in a lot of cases, it can be fun. And it's a new adventure. So you know what? All you hipster assholes that are changing up Deep Ellum, you have it, because it's your turn to do your young people stuff, and it's my turn to wear mom jeans and figure out how the hell I'm going to navigate through menopause. I know I got a little bit till that happens, but I'm not looking forward to that clusterfuck of crazy woman emotions. That's going to be weird too. And I don't even know when that's going to come, because my mom went through menopause early. So I got that to look forward to. A Molotov cocktail of bullshit. Like, I don't get it. But whatever. I don't want anybody to ever be like, oh, I wish I could be young again. Fucking change your life. If you want to go back to living in a 1-bedroom apartment, I lived in an efficiency at one point. So like when people came over, they could see my bedroom. And then in the loft even, it was a split level. But like you could see everything. Like, no. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, I wish I was younger again. Fucking own what age you are. Whatever it is. I'm about to be 34 in March, so bring it on. And then when I'm 44, bring it on. 74, 84. I don't know what a good age is to be like, okay, if I go now, I'm good. But I'm over 70, I think, would be a good one. Anything over 70. Yeah. Like anybody's going to answer me. You know, because one day, you know, Robert and my life, our lives are going to change again, because at some point we're not going to have kids in the house anymore. So it'll be another transitional period of, oh, that's who I used to be. I mean, I'll always be a mom, but then it's like, oh, well, I used to have kids in the house and I don't have kids in the house anymore. At that point, I really might say, oh, I wish we could go back. But then, you know, then I'll have to remember, oh, yeah, I don't have to deal with anybody's, you know, eye rolling and angsty shit. And then be like, oh, maybe I don't want it to go back, you know, and then we'll have a different part of our life. And, you know, we have plans to travel and to, you know, go eat good food places. And, well, I'm more excited about that than Robert is, I think. I think he's just like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But I think the food part is really more a me thing. Because we do plan on going to visit every baseball stadium. And that was his idea, which I'm totally in love with. And then I have to add we can eat all the food. Because, you know, that's me. I just eat all the food. So at the end of the day, it's just appreciate where you are in life and where you've come from and where you're gonna go. Because while I might not be able to ever have my downtown loft and, you know, be able to fit into a certain size again, or have my body look the way it used to, if I even do get into a size that I wore when I was younger, my body's not going to look the same. I've popped out a child. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Logan has a gigantic head, so he was a big baby. Like, my body's not the same. It's never going to be the same. Do I wish it was? Okay, that one I'll be like, yeah. we can rewind my body for that one. But, you know, just for anybody. I mean, there's men out there that, you know, while obviously they don't carry children, their body's not going to look the same as even if they did, you know, lose the weight. Well, they might, because, you know, men have testosterone and can lose weight by just cutting out something and one little thing, and because God hates women. And meanwhile, we have to stop eating in order to lose weight. Women, that is. Not saying to do that, by the way, because don't stop eating, please. You'll be hungry. But it's good to be where you are. And if you feel that something needs to change, guess what? You're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, whatever age you are. You're not in your 20s anymore. fucking change it. And I'm bad about, I'm impatient. That's what I'm bad about, so I want results now. But I have to put my adult panties on. And I'm not talking Depends. I'm not. I didn't want to say big girl panties. That just sounds weird. Getting older isn't bad. It's just different. And different's not bad. It's an adventure. But to the bitch that's at McDonald's, fucking learn some manners. Like, learn manners, learn customer service. All that shit. As we become the older generation, we've paved the way. And manners are part of that paving. God damn it. I say please and thank you. I open doors for people, or hold doors open, whatever. Don't be a dick. Because I know I might be overreacting, which I've been known to do. But god damn it, just fucking rude. Just rude. I want all of you guys to feel comfortable with who you are. And I'm still working on that. So I know it's not going to be like overnight. Yay, everything's fine. Because it's not. That's not how healing works. That's not how life works. There are very few things that are like overnight fixes. Because if anything works that fast in your life or in your healing or whatever, you're coming to terms with anything, if it's instantly overnight, it's probably a scam and you need to return it and get your money back. Because unfortunately, there are no quick results when it comes to most things in life. That just means you have to buckle down and work harder if you really want change. Good change. Don't change for the bad. Don't be a dick. And I think I've exhausted every way to say that. If you're dealing with feeling old, or wanting to feel young again. Or be young again, I should say. Because you can feel young. You can feel... People say, oh, well, you're only as old as you feel. Well, I feel like 87, so... That's because my body hurts a lot, but that's another story. Just be comfortable with who you are when you are that person. Always try to learn and grow and strive to be better, but just be you, no matter what age you are. Because while an odometer can be rolled back, which is illegal, your age cannot. And you have to fucking suck it up and deal with whatever age you are. Don't try to lie about it. Embrace that shit. Can I wear Jinkos and a midriff shirt again? No. But then again, I'm not a freshman in high school anymore. So I need to wear age-appropriate shit. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're of a certain age, wear age-appropriate shit. I don't care if you wear band shirts and jeans or fandom shirts and, like jeans and t-shirts, because that's what I do. But if you're, I don't know. I would say if you're 28 and up and you're still shopping like a senior in high school, get your life together. Get it all together. And fix your shit. Because that's not okay. It's not a cute look. Because there's no point in holding on to your youth, because guess what? Then you'll just look like that asshole who's holding on to their youth. And that's not a cute look either. Fucking own it. Whatever age you are, own it. Because next year, you're not going to be that age anymore. You're going to be a new age. So just fucking own it. Don't want things to be old or the way they used to be. Just take steps to make your future, and every day you get a chance to wake up and be on this planet the best it can be. Because as we all know, fucking tomorrow's not promised, and we only get so many days. So fucking quit wanting to be young again and just live your life. I really don't know how long I've been rambling on about being old. But like I said, no matter what age you are, don't be a dick. Use your manners. Be polite. And if you drive, use your fucking blinker. Sorry, I've said that a lot today because people need to do that more. I think the world might be a better place if people use their blinker more. That could just be my thing. If I ever run for president, which I won't, but if I did, that'd be my campaign. Don't be a dick. Use your manners. Be polite. Use your fucking blinker. This message is approved by Neish. Just love whatever age you are. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to live that age very long. So enjoy it while you have it. Because you're never going to have it again. And I'll stop talking about being old now. But I do plan on becoming the most crotchety, no fucks given old woman. So beware. And always stay peculiar.